Ian, thank you for that update. As we get going on a pretty darn cold Tuesday, what a stretch of weather. Real cold, real windy. Very, very heavy and strong winds the last day or two, a couple days continuing through this afternoon, but started to die down a little bit, meaning instead of 40 or 50 or 60 miles per hour, maybe a little less. Top of Mount Washington, one of the peak gusts, 160 plus miles per hour in the old rock pile as we get going. Some power outages in the region, but good Tuesday morning as we get going. And what a couple days, J Dog. I hope you weren't blown away on your walks, or maybe you hung in and did the interior, inside exercises. Really? Yeah. Wow. All right. A lot going on this morning as we get going, and quite a scene in Toronto. Amazingly, all of the passengers in that Delta flight survived after the plane flipped literally upside down and landing. There's some video of it before. High winds may have played a factor in Toronto, but again, all passengers surviving. So again, on the air travel side, if you had loved ones or you yourself were trying to deal in the last 24 hours with flying in and out of Manchester, Boston Regional Airport, a lot of folks do, of course. Now JetBlue's there or any other regional airport. A lot of delays, a lot of late flights, a lot of change flights the last day or two. So check that this morning. You know how it is with the airlines. The next day after kind of the delays and the mess, it's always a backlog. So there could be some delays this morning, but the airlines for the most part yesterday afternoon seemed to do an amazing job. I had a buddy who was headed down to a board meeting or a conference in Orlando, did get out, and then some people got in Southwest into Manchester last night after the plane was diverted to BWI in Baltimore. So Mother Nature, at least in the Northeast, playing a big part of the story this morning. Again, bitter cold, really cold. Now, believe it or not, J Dog, looking long range, things are calm tomorrow, meaning that wind finally dissipates this afternoon. The wind gusts, the strong winds. Tomorrow, J Dog, sunny and clear, still on the chilly side, but that system on Thursday, you've already heard some reports. Looks like that storm or snow system will be well south of us. Southern New England probably will see it. We'll see from that. If anything, they'll see it, not us as much. And J Dog, by this weekend and Monday, are you ready for this one? It's going to feel like a heat wave. We're going to see near 40 for a high on Monday, J Dog, and more mild temperatures this weekend. So it looks like, J Dog, it looks like things are finally calming down over the next few days, but really going into the weekend, Saturday night, Sunday, that snow is almost like two batches of it on the coast, wherever you were. Clean off the vehicle or do some shoveling, and then you had to do more later or the next morning, and then it's some sleet and ice and the winds, the heavy, heavy winds. So whatever you're doing, hope you're doing all right. Now, J Dog and everyone out there, 603-228-2008. There was another a chairlift, let's just say malfunction. This one at Pat's Peak, more than 100 folks on that lift yesterday, about 1:45 and over in Henniker. And the ski patrol and the local, public safety folks able to get most of the people, or not most, get everyone off, and everyone was okay. But again, we've had a couple incidents there, and this is Massachusetts vacation week, so a lot of folks are in New Hampshire recreating. The snow has been great. We got plenty of snow. This is a real classic New England winter. From here up into northern Maine, you don't have to go up to northern New Hampshire to Pittsburgh or northern Maine to do some sledding and snowmobile riding. It's abundant, the trails, but this is mass vacation week, and a lot of places are, a lot of the resorts are full, even if it's a little chilly and windy this morning. Again, one of the high wind gusts, there might have been some closer to 200 miles per hour on top of Mount Washington, but one recorded more than 160 miles per hour yesterday up in the old rock pile. The other interesting story, and tomorrow we'll hear from Bob Jackman, one of our great partners and sponsors, La Valley Middleton Building Supply. These icicles, J-Dog, I haven't seen icicles like I'm seeing on some houses and buildings coming down, especially if you don't have the gutter system. But the icicles and the coming off the roof over windows on two-story family homes or two-story homes. I've seen some icicles go right down to the ground almost. These icicles are running the length of the building. Real icicles, yeah. So watch that, of course. If they fall down on your car or your head, you're not going to enjoy it. Our poll question on X this morning, getting to some of the political news talk. We got a packed show for you this morning. Jack Heath in our Capitol studios here. J-Dog on the boards. Our poll question on X, and that's the pulse of an H on X, is do you think Doge should have access to the IRS data? That's now in question. Did they do a scan or a sweep of the data? Yes or no? Some people are questioning that. You already heard about the Social Security Administrator, at odds on some of that. And over the weekend, around the country, in places like Portland, Oregon, and other places, that people came out and protesting the Department of Government Efficiency, the Elon Musk sweep of the federal agencies and government for wasteful spending. They're protesting around the country. They meaning some. Some out are even protesting Tesla as a way to financially punish Musk. So that's one of the big stories. The other one that's sort of a backdrop story, and I said this a few weeks ago, you're seeing real efforts on behalf of the new administration, Secretary of State Marco Rubio and others stepping up the heat, and Pete Hegseth doing some of the legwork, and J.D. Vance, to try and really broker or force an agreement to end the war in Ukraine. And it's definitely more of a U.S.-Russia power play, along with some NATO nations, Great Britain understanding that. The Great Britain officials saying it's really, getting Russia to stand down as the aggressor is the key to ending the war. Now, President Zelensky of Ukraine saying he's very much being snubbed. He's not part of these talks. He's not part of the agreement. But what the U.S. is trying to do, I see it for what it is. It's foreign policy, and it's a deal-making game. They're going to the more powerful player of the two, the aggressor, the one that started the war in Ukraine, Russia, to see what it would take for Putin to stand down. Putin appears to want to do that, and you're seeing the real heat heating up. So we'll see where that goes, but I think it will come to a head in the next week or two. All right, some of the other news talk happening this morning, and I'll come back to some commentary in a moment. We're going to get a check-in from Hampton Beach. I only laugh because we were talking earlier this morning of just how much the winds were over there. Alicia Presence Anthopoulos, Seacoast Online. Again, Mother Nature really ripping into us over the weekend. Mike Cody, New Hampshire Business Review, will be checking in a little bit later on. We'll get some good news from Tom Raffio since we were President's Day on yesterday. And, one of the things I'm just going to say is, regardless of the protest around the country against Doge, against Musk, against the sweep of federal waste and spending, what they're already finding, I mean, these reports out of the Department of Education, I don't know if you heard about how many people over 100 are still getting, like, Social Security checks. Yeah, a lot of people who are dead still getting the Social Security checks, like sending checks to people who are deceased. But that's just pales in comparison to some of the waste they're finding in these agencies like Housing and Urban Development, Department of Education. We're talking tens of billions of dollars of just unaccounted for or blatant waste. And it's still going. They have not even gotten into the Pentagon to do a review of the wasteful spending in the Pentagon. I mean, that's going to be a doozy. That one's going to make your eyes pop out a lot, about as much as the winner of the Genesis Open golf tournament. Great picture when he won. It was is it Aberg, or how do you pronounce his last name, J-Dog? On the golf side, he was pretty excited. But when you see the money they're going to show in wasteful spending in the Pentagon, your eyes will pop. And again, these protests continue. People don't like it. They don't like it. And a lot of the reasons they'll give is, Musk is not elected. And there are court cases challenging this on the federal employee, trying to get federal employees to take early retirement, or laying off probationary federal workers in some of these agencies. There are court cases on this, but, again, the argument about Musk is not elected. He was appointed and asked to do this by President Trump. He's not getting paid. The point is, most of the people that are complaining most on that front, like the Elizabeth Warren, Senator Warren, and others, their staffs are not elected either. Their staffs in the Senate are not elected either, and they're the ones writing legislation, but they're not elected. So this sweep of federal waste and spending, in wasteful spending, is continuing at a pretty rapid pace. And it's interesting, those who are protesting so loudly against it, then they'll say that, they're federal workers, and other people saying this is not right. You can't do this. This has to be stopped. But, it's interesting. You can tell by the contrast of the last 4 years which party is the party of big government. You can really tell over all the wasteful spending they're finding, what party really is the party of what you and I would call big federal government. big, dominating federal government. There's no question it's a night and day change. I think for the most part, despite some ripples and frustrations with some and shock and awe by others, I do think it's rather refreshing to see some commentary. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We got a lot coming up on this Tuesday. We got a little break in sight later tonight from the winds and the heavy wind gust. And actually, by the weekend, it's a lot more comfortable when you go from what it's been, say 15 or 12 degrees with a 40-mile-per-hour wind gust. So you're in the negative to like 35 or 40 degrees. That seems like you're in Florida. Hey, Google. Hey, Alexa. Play the pulse of an H. J Dog on the boards. We'll be back in a moment. All right, welcome back. And again, as I said, believe it or not, I know it. I know you can't believe this, but by this next Monday or Sunday and Monday, it's gonna be like a heat wave here, 35 or 40 for a high. Wow, it's been really, really windy. Bitter cold winds disrupting flights. Not sure yet if that overturned Delta flight in Toronto, if that was wind gusts, but it was also snowing and I mean, landing upside down, people were getting out of their seatbelts and standing on the roof of the plane. Unbelievable. Everyone survived that, but really hairy stuff yesterday and really coming out of Sunday night into yesterday, President's Day, weather-wise. Brad Card, one of our political analysts and all-stars, also co-host of Contact Politics. We'll have a whole new show for you this Thursday. Looks like with video as well. Former U.S. ambassador, U.S. Senate candidate. Who knows? Maybe Senate candidate again here in 2026. Scott Brown, our guest this week. Brad, though, let's start with crazy stuff coming out of the weekend. Even though we saw a delayed, or I guess I didn't watch much of it, but Daytona 500 is pretty fascinating to see President Trump and his entourage go out onto the oval, but I mean the track. But J Dog and I were talking earlier about Brad Card Live. Good morning on this Tuesday, Brad. It looks like the real showdown now. I mean, we're seeing protests around the country, court cases. Now, questions if Doge should be able to comb through IRS data. We saw the Social Security Administration stuff. So, this review of federal spending is getting hot and serious. Good morning, Brad. Well, they haven't even got into the Pentagon yet. I mean, wait to talk about the big chunk of the taxpayers' budget. And I'm not saying, I mean, I'm a pro defense, support our troops at all costs. I want the best equipment. I want the best training. But I'm saying we haven't really done a scrutinizing of the procurement process in the Pentagon since what? I don't know, 20, 30 years, it feels like. Yeah. But I'm saying like an audit, going through to see how much no, I'm saying like how much the Pentagon is charged for tires or wrenches. You know what I'm saying? The real deep dive. Yeah. For an Advil. I yeah, ibuprofen. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Right. Mhm. Yeah. I yeah. What what What's the buzz in Washington, if any? I've been watching. It started with Pete Hegseth going to Europe, and now Marco Rubio, Secretary of State in Saudi Arabia, meeting with the Russian, the foreign minister, and the real officials trying to broker an end to the war in Ukraine. I get what the U.S. is doing, especially with some of the NATO flexing, and they're basically trying to get Putin to tell them or get Putin to agree what it would take for him to end this and end the aggression. He's the aggressor. He's the bigger power. We know it's dragged on. Zelensky of Ukraine, the president, very unhappy that he's being snubbed, minimalized. He's not having a say in this. I see what they're doing. You're trying to get the bigger player to tell you what it would take for them to end. Then you go to the smaller player, meaning unfortunately the country that was invaded. I'm not minimalizing Ukraine, but you see what I'm saying. Obviously, Russia's a bigger power. What's the buzz in Washington? Are people beginning to feel this could actually happen, or do you think it's precarious? But you agree the only way you can end this war is for Putin to agree to do it. Well, I'm telling you the way it's going to go. I you get well. I'm just telling you that's probably. I'm not saying that it's going to end that way, but that's probably going to go that way because Putin's going to get something out of this. And the key is, what can Zelensky get out of this other than Russia's going to stop attacking you? But no, no. What I'm saying is, I can see. If you go back in history, I watch a lot of stuff in World War II and how they tried to appease Hitler. And I'm just saying that when you get a bigger power like Russia, they're the ones that went in, they started it, they attacked, and it's going to upset. The Ukrainians are not going to be happy with what is finally put at the table. I'm not sure what it is, but I know that they're not going to be happy. The question is, can Trump and the administration, meaning the U.S., because a lot of it's going to be you're not going to be able to join NATO, for the indefinite future. You're gonna have to give up this. You're gonna have to give up that, and they're gonna say we're the ones that were attacked. We're your ally. We're the democracy. They attacked us. But I'm just saying, it's in the end of the day, I think it's going to be an imperfect agreement. The question is, will it work? Let me switch one last thing, Brad. Let me. I'm on. Yeah, again. I mean, ideally, I'm not going to disagree with that. Ideally, Brad, real quick. I'm watching these protests. I'm watching Amy Klobuchar, Elizabeth Warren as the main Democrats railing against what the Trump administration and DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency, are doing. But I'm still looking at the Democrat Party reeling, trying to figure out, what is their like you're watching maybe the Canada U.S. Nations of Four hockey, and it takes a starting line and to get out there five players, three lines, a goaltender, backup goalie. What is the first line of the Democrats going into this next cycle in the midterms? Who are the five leading powers in the Democrat Party? Because I'm not seeing it right now. Yep. Hey, real right. What's gonna we gotta run to a break. Brad Card, what's gonna happen in this Mayor Adams case in New York City? That's really getting complicated. What do you think the end result what's gonna happen here? The latest I saw is that the New York governor the New York governor was even talking about trying to force him out. It's gonna be interesting. Right. All right. All right. Thank you, Brad. We're going to run contact politics more this week. Thank you, Brad Card. When we come back, well, Saturday Night Live, they had the concert Friday. They had the 50th anniversary. A lot of controversy. Tom Hanks insulting Trump voters. Adam Sandler from Manchester, New Hampshire, I guess, taking the show. But, I guess it's inevitable. You're going to have some controversy, but that's making some news. Hey, Google. Hey, Alexa, play the Pulse of an Age. Jack Heath, the illustrious one, J Dong on the boards. Back in a moment. All right, we are back, and J Dog on the boards. This is a great new segment, and I hope it adds to our network. I know it will, but Adam Van is back. He's nice to come in this morning. Hopefully, the wind didn't blow him around much like yesterday. But the Alpine Gold Exchange in the state's largest city, liquidity, precious metals, investing. But it's a whole nother world out there that I'm learning. Thanks to Adam, and welcome back on a Tuesday. Hope you had a good, stormy weekend.
Yeah, we definitely had another stormy weekend, that's for sure.
One thing we want to do in this segment, by the way, J Dog, if you don't mind, let's open up our lines because I want people to be able to call Adam, take your mind off some of the stuff. We'll get back to the political news talk. But a lot of this does tie into the same thing. It's the economy. Markets might be up a little bit coming out of the President's Day, a lot of uncertainty. Gold reaching record highs. If you've never invested, never even thought about it, let's just shoot some questions at Adam. 603-228-2080. 603-228-2080. We'll take some questions. So good morning.
Good morning. I've got a surprise for you this morning because I brought you a little tube. Put your hands out.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So
wow. I'd like that in the safe at home. Oh my goodness. J-Dog, look at this.
Yeah.
Tell us how much am I holding here?
About $56,000 worth of gold.
J-Dog right here. $56,000 right here. And it's not as bad as one of your weights you do in the other room when you're doing your walking, but these are just beautiful. And each one of these, how much?
$2,800. You buy
this is
the spot price. Those are about $3,000 a piece.
Yeah.
These are gold eagles, is what they are. And
wow.
That's the very top dollar. That's the best coin you can buy is gold eagle.
Yeah.
And this is one of the things that we carry.
Okay, so we'll do it during the break, J-Dog. We'll take a little video this morning for our social media. 603-228-2080.
It charges everything in the room, doesn't it? When you pull a handful of gold out, all of a sudden
you know what? Because I keep this stuff. I've read about it a little bit, but you can do the monthly minimal nominal investing. You can do the purchasing. But what are the questions you get the most when someone says, Adam, okay, I want to talk to you about the gold exchange. I just want to diversify a little bit. What are their concerns? What are their questions?
A lot of the questions are, what do we do with it? A lot of new investors that get into self-directed gold investing, which is what we do, self-directed. A lot of the questions are, what do you do with it? And that's where our online accounts solve that problem. That's the solution. Is the online account allows you to buy, sell, trade. You can exchange member to member. You can get a debit card. So the number one question we get about gold is, what do you do with it? It's one thing to have it, here in your hand. But then it becomes a challenge with what do you do with it afterwards. And just so that you're aware, this is a member's gold is what this is. They're picking up today. We don't actually keep anything in our office. We're a management office, but this is what you get on your account is you get gold eagles on your account. And then when you're ready, you can withdraw them and we ship it to you. So another question we get in the, what do I do with it? Once you have gold on your account, what do you do with it then? And one of the things that we offer that a lot of people don't offer is that you can withdraw it and then we ship it to you. So I would never recommend investing in anything that you can't put your hands on.
I know, and there's
a lot of companies.
I mean, let's face it, the stock market, you might have a certificate or look online if you want some shares, but I'm not saying it's not solid, but it's something you can't. What about, I've heard some different things. What about one of your programs is, looking at people's IRA, their retirement accounts? Why gold there?
Yeah, well, gold is a physical asset, and that's why gold. Gold is a physical asset, and it's real. And so with our gold IRAs, you can do long-term investing. So we've got short-term investing with our leasing program, and that's, just 60-day type investing. But we have long-term investing for retirement with our gold IRAs. So you can buy gold, deposit it into your account. It goes towards your IRA with all the tax benefits. You can get traditional or Roth IRA. And then when you reach 59 and a half, you can withdraw it with all the tax benefits.
Yeah, well, there's always an inverse on the markets and precious metals, Adam. And again, Alpine Gold Exchange, Manchester. We'll give you the website, the address, the phone number, and all that. But if you want to call, 603-836-8814, 836-8814, Alpine Gold Exchange. Adam Van, V-A-N, is the manager. Adam, one of the questions I was wondering is, now we hear gold is at a big high because of maybe some uncertainties. So gold's a good hedge bet. It's at all-time high. But what are the worries that we could see that go down over the next year or two and people get a little nervous? Because what goes up comes down. It's true with investments, true with probably maybe everything, but the price in your home right now with real estate in New England, everything's so high with inventory low. But what could tip gold to go the other way?
What could tip gold to go the other way? If the dollar does better. So
Yep.
if the economy improves, gold only goes up and down compared to the dollar. The dollar is what's actually fluctuating, not the value of gold.
Well, we've made that pretty
pretty
not worth as much in the last several years.
And it's just going to
the dollar.
It's going to continue that way. Yeah, the dollar's going to continue.
I mean, we have a $36 trillion debt in this country. 36 trillion. Everyone's jumping. A lot of people are jumping up and down with this review of federal waste and spending. $36 trillion.
Have you heard that comparative of 1,000,000 seconds versus 1,000,000,000 seconds?
No.
1,000,000 seconds is 11 days. 1,000,000,000 seconds is 31 years. And we're $38 trillion.
Yeah, I guess it is more than 36. Or,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just insane.
What about, we haven't talked much about it, 603-228-2080, if you feel like just to take your mind off this question. What about silver? We don't hear as much about silver, the other, probably the number two, or is it, what other precious metals are people asking to invest in?
We also carry platinum. I like platinum. Silver, I use silver for spending. Silver stays pretty steady, pretty approachable.
I've noticed it's very steady, the line.
Yeah, and so gold goes up in value over time. It's for preserving your wealth. That's what gold is for. It's for you buy, hold long term, preserve your wealth, and then
kind of lock in your wealth.
Yeah, you're locking it in. The dollar is always going to inflate. That's what a debt-based system does. It inflates, and so you're going to protect your labor with gold, and then you're going to spend silver. So you can always spend silver. It's always very approachable.
Yep. J-Dog, do we have a caller there? Do you want to? Okay. One of the other questions I was going to ask is, so platinum, how do you do that? Same thing you buy? Where's the price? I don't even know what the price of platinum is.
We don't have platinum on the online accounts for the investing portion of it, but you can go to alpinegold.com, and I've got a special for the listeners. If they go to if they put in Pulse at checkout, they get free shipping.
Well, we haven't talked about that on anything.
On anything, yeah.
So say that again.
Yeah, if you go to alpinegold.com and you put in the coupon code Pulse, all the listeners get free shipping on any orders that they have.
Wow, that's cool. Just Pulse on the ship out when you're checking out.
Right.
Code Alpine Gold.
You have to go through the whole checkout process. It's the very last thing you do. We do get some calls sometimes where people can't find the promo code. You got to go to the end.
Yep.
But when you get to the end, you'll get free shipping by putting in Pulse.
The other thing too is the interest rates, the interest payments. I'm sorry, you can actually get interest on this stuff if you open an account, correct?
That's right. Yeah, if you enter into the lease program, it's very similar to a savings account that everybody's traditionally used to, but this is with gold, and this is the lease program, is what it is. So you start out at 2% interest, and then that's yearly, of course, but we pay that monthly. So you'll see that interest come into your account monthly.
What are gold backs? I've heard you in your commercial and your spots. What are gold backs?
Gold back is a 24 karat gold note. It's 1/1000th of an ounce of gold is what that
really
is. Yeah, we're the only game in town when it comes to thousands of ounces. So this coin right here is about $3,100 is what a gold eagle is going for. But that gold back, the 1/1000th, that's about $5.50. So it's very approachable. It's got a higher premium than a $3,100 coin.
Yeah.
But anyone can buy $5.50 worth of gold, and so it makes it so that buying and holding and using gold is much more liquid and easy.
A stick of sharp cheddar cheese, I think, in the store, a brick of that might cost more than that. Yeah. So the other thing too is you can dedicate, imagine, because I'm going to get in hopefully next week at your schedule. You set up an account and you just draw that minimum each month you're buying. Is it gold backs or how does that work?
Yeah, you can buy gold backs.
So if you just say I want to buy $100 a month.
Yep. You can set it up through your bank through auto pay to just automatically buy $100 a month, and then that goes right into your gold back account or your gold coin account. We have the leasing program for both. The gold back leasing is a little better than the gold coin. The gold coin is a 1 year term, and then the gold back is a 60-day term. So every 60 days it automatically renews. But you can get out of it quicker, and it pays a better interest. The gold back pays more interest.
I imagine too a lot of this, Adam, with Alpine Gold Exchange is peace of mind, because you said a comment last time you were on about 5,000 years of a track record here. What company's been around 5,000 years?
Oh, there's
No, but what was your quote?
I forget what it was.
It was about gold, though. It has a track
gold.
record.
Yeah, nobody has a track record like gold.
Yeah.
Has been around for 5,000 years, and
probably not going anywhere.
Yeah, it's not going to go any. You can go anywhere in the world. You can go anywhere in the world, and gold is recognized. We have people from other countries that come into our office, and they understand gold better than Americans. Americans see this as a trinket, as a jewel, or something like that.
Yeah, we're so pro-dollar market. America's a very market-driven economy.
That's
Stock
right.
market, Dow,
some
NASDAQ.
Of our members are from Ecuador and from Guatemala and from Spain, and when these people from these other countries, Pakistan and so forth, when they come in and start investing in gold, they get it. They get it right away.
Yeah, because they have very turbulent, worthless economies. Now, I'm not picking on any one of those countries, but one final thing. What about fraud? What about counterfeit? I mean, I'm looking at those beautiful gold coins. There's always bad people out there that try and knock off something. Is there? I've heard. We know in the Olympics when they say that you want a gold medal, it's not gold. But you know what I'm saying. What about counterfeits?
No, there's counterfeits of everything out there. If there's something worth value, there's someone.
But how do you guard against that?
The way we guard against it is we assay everything in our office that comes in and out. So if a member orders something or brings us something, even if someone just comes into our office,
there's a way you can determine if that's 100% gold, not
right.
Like covered with 20% inside it's copper or silver.
Right. We've got acid tests, we've got sound machines, we've got even ping testers. So I don't know if you can hear this.
Oh, yeah, I can hear it from here. The ring.
So
go ahead and do that on the mic. Yeah,
that's why they call it sound money. You can't get anything else to make that noise.
Wow, do that again. Do that again on the mic. It's great, right up there. No, I heard it. One more time. Put it right up. Yeah, it's pretty cool. All right, we're going to sneak in a quick break. We want to ask you to stick around. Doug Tangdon, our economic advisor, is coming up, our world economist in worldmarketadvisors.com, but talking a little bit on the economy, but he'll probably love to talk with you about this. So we're going to come back. Adam, again, if people want to buy, I guess if we had asked about our poll question, do you think Doge should have the authority to go into the IRS records? We would have had the phones light up, but people are a little nervous, not nervous, they're getting into the morning, but Doug's coming up. We'll talk a little bit, but if you do order and you want to start something small, nominal, Alpine Gold Exchange with Adam and the team, you get free checkout by just saying Pulse at the end on your on whatever you're going to get mailed, and
at checkout,
at checkout, the Pulse, or just Pulse, the word Pulse. The word you get Pulse. Free Pulse. Okay, cool.
alpinegold.com, at checkout, you'll get free shipping when you put in promo code Pulse.
All right, hey Alexa, go play the Pulse of an Age. Doug Tangdon coming back, and we'll talk a little more gold, silver, and who knows, maybe platinum. Back in a moment. metal person, but Adam just poured into my hand on one of our social media videos, $56,000 in gold coins. Good morning, Doug. How are you? Where are things at this morning? Still a lot of uncertainty, but we'll see where it goes. And then I do have a question with Adam here. Good morning, Doug. Take it away. Any outlook? Hmm. Yeah. Right. Right. And now how much now it's now, Adam? No, how much, Adam? Isn't it more?
Oh, well, the spot price is like 2,800.
Yeah, yeah. But Doug, it's interesting. Can you imagine? Because I think we're getting closer to an agreement. I don't think President Zelensky will love it. My point is, it could be an end to the war. At least Russia pulling out or not attacking, and it might not be perfect, but it ends a war. It ends a war. Can you imagine that, along with peace in the Middle East, and how markets would like that? Right. What? Yeah. D- Right. Real quick, Doug, with Adam here, we have a minute. A lot of the gold going up is people uncertain about the dollar. Obviously, it plays off the dollar. Can you speak to that a little bit with Adam, real quick? We have about a minute and a half. Adam?
Oh, without a doubt. The last 8 years have been unprecedented with what's been going on politically and geopolitically with all kinds of. I mean, it's not just Ukraine. Even before that, we were having all kinds of struggles worldwide.
And I don't mean to say anything. China's still sitting there, our number one nemesis. So I don't think we're going to have. I think uncertainty is a reality of the world. Unfortunately, Dads. All right, great stuff, Doug. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, worldmarketadvisors.com. Thank you, Doug. And again, Adam, free shipping, alpinegold.com.
Right.
Pulse at the checkout.
That's right.
You got all your dollars accounted for?
You got all my dollars accounted for.
Great stuff. It's I feel like a little kid when I'm around you. It's fun to learn. All right, we're going to come up top of the 10. We're going to go over to Hampton Beach, Seacoast Online next, the Pulse of an H.